All right, fam, getting right to it, starting with the dollar index. We can see that where the dollar is currently at. Initially from this level, this is when dollar found support at this level of structure, and we had a move away from that level. All right, now I'm looking at this from the daily and 4-hour perspective to start the week. We can see we're getting a daily rejection from this level of structure. Looking to the left, this is a previous structure support before price broke down. All right. So now this is an interesting level. So we can look to the left. We can see here when price broke this level, it retested it as resistance and continued. So this is the same level that dollar rejected from to end the week. So we got a strong impulsive close here on the 4-hour, strong bearish engulfing. So I will be looking for another bearish wave. I'm expecting another down wave on the dollar before any more upside. So we could possibly see something along the lines of this, maybe see some type of pullback and give us another continued wave down into this level of structure. So if price give us another wave into this structure, this is a level to pay attention to, because price could either break or bounce here. Now, if it was to hold support and continue, then the dollar could pump. But if we break down this level as well, then dollar could likely come back down towards this low. All right, because you can see here, initially when price had this double bottom, we had an impulsive break above structure, a retest, right? And then we had a continuation. All right, you saw this type of bullish like hammer rejection, and then price found support. So moving forward early in the week, this is NFP week as well. To keep in mind, you always want to know, you always want to pay attention to the news, what's going on, what's coming, especially when it comes to trades that you're trading. We see we got CPI inflation data for the Swiss franc on Monday, interest rate statement for the Australian dollar, manufacturing PMI for the dollar. And then Wednesday is what I like to call, it's not pre-NFP this Wednesday. We got FOMC minutes. All right, Thursday, we got pre-NFP. I like to call this pre-NFP. Non-farm employment change, unemployment claims for the dollar. All right, so it's going to be a lot of volume coming into the dollar. Friday, we got the rate statement and employment change for the Canadian dollar, as well as NFP, all right, on Friday for the dollar. So it's a volume news heavy week. So we just got to be patient, allow these setups to come to us and take what the market gives us, okay? But with the dollar, I'm expecting to continue another bearish wave before any drop, because based off the monthly, I'm still bullish. I'm still expecting a bigger move to the upside, but the dollar really has just been ranging right here since the start of the year. Up, down, up, down. It's been ranging right here, right? So we got this bullish engulfing here though on the monthly. So I believe this drop is just a correction, a pullback of this before we see another move up. All right. But in the short term, I'm expecting another wave to start this week. All right. EURUSD. Okay. So EU is interesting. You see on the monthly, right? Similar to how on the dollar, we got a bullish engulfing. Well, on the monthly on EU, we got this big bearish engulfing. All right. That's in line with any potential dollar strength. But now, all right, initially, we caught this drop. Well, in VIP, we actually caught this drop, right? A sale was called because we could see initially price broke down, broke structure, pretty much formed a head and shoulders right here. On this right shoulder, we broke down. So we caught this drop in VIP. TP was hit. But after that, and you can see why I call TP around that area, because that is a level of structure. If you look to the left, all right, look to the left, this is a major point of structure here. All right, it was also some support here. So price found support, had a pump. All right, so early on in the week, like we could see, especially if the dollar does give us another bearish wave, you know, we could see on a pullback for EU to give us another potential up wave. So some type of correction, you know, I'm anticipating another pullback for another bullish wave up. All right, another wave up towards the upside. AU, I sent this out. All right. You can also look at this. I sent this out and I was anticipating this play right here. After price broke down, I was anticipating a pullback. I was hoping for a deeper pullback, but I was anticipating a pullback and a continued wave down. So it gave us that. And now we pulled back up. So we at this level of structure, potential level of structure where it could potentially fall from. This is the ideal level of structure if I'm looking for sales, where I would look for price to reject here and give me a sell opportunity. So it is at that level. All right. The only thing that has me like, want to be patient is because a lot of it depends what the dollar is going to do. So if the dollar opens up and pulls back and give us another bearish wave, then we may see AU pump. Also, we have interest rates coming in for AU. So we're going to really be able to see what this pair is going to do Monday, especially. Rate decisions, rate statements tend to bring a lot of value. So maybe it possibly do give us a sell-off, right? Find support here and then possibly pump. That's a possibility as well. So I just want to be patient with this because, of course, if price was to close back above this level of structure, then chances are we're going higher. All right. But if I'm looking at this based off the higher time frame, like on the weekly, we still have a big bearish engulfing on the weekly. So just how any drop on the dollar, I believe, is just a correction to set up for the bigger move up. Same thing here on AU. We got the big bearish engulfing on the weekly, and we see here this weekly candle was closing, right, indecisive, like a doji type pattern. All right. So if this does correct up, that's fine. I believe this correction up will likely just be setting up for another wave down. Okay. So I'm looking at my areas of structure, which the next key point of structure I would pay attention to is this level of structure here. All right. So if price does continue up, that's the area that I would look for another potential sell opportunity. All right. So that's AU. Gold is high on my list and my radar this week. We can see here on the daily, you can see gold is also correcting with the dollar, but we can see this is still bearish on the daily. All right. We still got these lower lows and lower highs. All right. Still bearish. But with the dollar correcting, we can see gold correcting as well. On a monthly, we still see strong bearish rejection. All right. So I do believe this is likely just a correction before any more drop. All right. So we see here on a monthly, not the monthly, excuse me, the daily. This is a nice morning star pattern. All right. It's bullish indication. So what I'm looking for, if I go down to the smaller time frame, looking at this on a 4-hour, this is an inverted head and shoulders right here. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, inverted head and shoulders. Nice pattern right there. So what I will look for, I want to see a pullback into this level, right? A pullback or a retest into this level and look for price to continue down. All right. So I would like to see definitely at least price retest, because this will be considered the neckline of structure right here of this inverted head and shoulders right here. So at least definitely see price retest structure here, but we could possibly come a little lower. All right. But overall, as long as price stay above this shoulder, then we're still bullish. All right. So what we can do as well is we could take our fib from this low of the shoulder, from this low of the pump to this high. All right. So I would like to see if we get a 61.8, like honestly, I might put a buy limit somewhere around here. All right. Somewhere around there. Stop loss below this shoulder. All right. And look for price to come back towards these highs. All right. So that still would be a nice 1 to 2 risk to reward opportunity. So I may look for something along those lines. All right. But overall, expecting a bullish wave after this correction. Expect that. All right. Because once we come back to this high, looking at the area I'm looking for a target is here. This is a level where price could potentially reject and fall from. All right. So from there, I'm looking for a price want to continue now the trend to the downside, or do we want to pump even higher before any more, potential drop? So yeah, a lot of it depends on what the dollar is going to do. So we just got to play it based off what price is showing us. All right. And always use the dollar for added influence. That's gold. GU. So GU actually took a loss on this to end the week because it's crazy because overall, initially, like when I was covering this previous, I was expecting GU to come down, retest structure, and continue up. All right. But once I saw a break below, as we could see, it looks like that was a false break now. Because we even at this on a weekly. The weekly did have a firm close above this level. All right. So now we're retesting that move, and we see the way this candle is closing on the weekly. It's looking like me it's showing signs of price exhaustion and that we may get another up wave, because we see here on the daily as well. All right, we had a bullish engulfing close right back above this level of structure. All right, now if we look at this here, like on the 4-hour, this is looking like, I was looking at this higher low structure. I'm like, okay, we broke that structure, right? And I was bullish on the dollar, but the way things shaped up to end the week, You know, that's why you always want to adjust. If you take a L, you want to be able to identify why and, you know, trade accordingly. So this was basically like a false breakout. Then we had an impulsive pump back above this level of structure. So I will expect some type of pullback or retest here, some type of pullback correction of this, and look for price to continue up. You know, we could see price possibly head back to this high. All right, something along those lines. So now the only thing that will change that bias is I will need to see a sharp break back below this level of structure. And then if that's the case, then we look for sales. EURJPY. So the yen pairs has been extremely bullish, man. Like for me, it's no reason. Like look at that monthly candle. It's been just straight pump. Like, you know, so that's showing that the yen has been bearish, crazy bearish. So with that, you know, even here on this daily, we had a bullish engulfing pump retest. So this could be possibly setting up. You know, this is extremely like very overbought. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a big correction, but as of right now, there's no reason to look for sale. Now, yeah, we could look at this on a 4-hour and say, okay, price just shows some type of price exhaustion. Like if I look at it from like this perspective, it's like, okay, here on the 4-hour, it did just give a nice rejection candle. So it could possibly set up to drop. But for me, it's no reason. You can see it pumped, found a higher high, retest the previous structure high, and continue. All right. So for me, moving forward, in order to look for sales, you know, with this being so bearish, so bullish, I would need to see like a break of structure. If we get like a break of structure, then maybe a pullback or retest, and then you could look for price to set up for the potential correction that's like long overdue. But until then, it's still bullish. All right. GJ, same thing with GJ. Very bullish. We can see here on the daily, right? We had a pump forming a higher high, retested previous structure high, and found support. So the bullish look is still daily on the bullish, still bullish on the daily. All right. So with that, you have no reason to look for sales. The only way I would look for sales is if price comes down here sharply, impulsively, and breaks structure. If we give me that, then I'll look for a pullback, maybe a retest, and look for the wave down, right? And on that wave down, I will be looking at this level, all right? But as of now, there's no reason to look for that because price is still bullish. But I would need to see a break of structure. So either that, or if price just continues right here, if it continues to just to break above, continues to break highs, for example, then you could just continue to look to ride that wave. Continue something like that, maybe catch a retest and look to continue up. All right, that's GJ. UCAD, all right. UCAD is interesting. It's been bearish. We had a big sell-off on the weekly, all right, on the daily, breaking structure lows. Now, if we look at this on the weekly, this is like a morning star, bullish engulfing, like a little morning star. So it could be setting up for a bigger move up. All right, but if we go down to the daily, all right, price ended the week dropping and then kind of spiking back. So it's interesting to see how it's going to do. We may get, like if I look at this on a 4-hour, we may get maybe one more drop. You see, we had a bearish engulfing drop, price pulling back to end the week. So we could possibly see, you know, one more drop here, right, before any more move up. All right, but if it does drop, that could potentially be a short-term drop to set up for a bigger move up. Based off how that weekly close, I would lean towards price setting up to go long. So either a pullback lower before another pump, or price just continue to pump here, right? Then you just can ride it like this. That's USDCAD. USDCHF has been ranging here, right? We're in this range, all right, because the dollar's been pretty much ranging. All right, but if we look at it from this perspective, the dollar just ended the week bearish on the daily and the 4-hour. So USDCHF did the same thing. So here on the daily, we got a bearish engulfing. All right. So this is a range, but the way it's looking now, I would look for another drop to the bottom of this range. All right, so I could look at it from this perspective. The 4 hours also looking bearish. All right, you can take a counter trend line. So something along the lines of this, some type of pullback. All right, setting up for another drop down towards this low. Okay, that's USDCHF. All right, UJ. So UJ has been very bullish as well. All yen pairs has been bullish because the yen's been weak, very weak. So, but if I'm looking at this, UJ is also overdue for some type of correction. All right. So, for example, this is looking like a bearish engulfing here on the daily. All right. Not big, not very big. So if I was to look for a sell on this right now, there's no reason to look for sales. It's still bullish. All right. So price could very well just hold here and continue up. So I would take this level of structure here. All right. If price holds support here, you could possibly see price just continue up. All right. But for me, I'm not looking for buys here. I would like to catch a nice correction on this. So if price comes down and breaks structure, now that's a sign. That's a higher low, breaking higher low structure. That's a sign that it's setting up for, now it's shifting on a smaller time frame here to bearish bias. I would look for a retest or pullback to catch the next wave. All right, that's how I would play that. So these are the setups on the radar for the week. I'm narrowing it down to like my top 2 or 3 though. Gold is definitely one of them. Maybe GU and maybe one other pair. So for now, that's what we got. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you guys got value out of that. Tap into the free Telegram if you want to stay up to date with the different projections and analysis. If you're looking for mentorship and signals and training and things of that nature, you can go on the top, tap in at the fxwave.com as well. And let's catch some pips. I'll see you all on the next one.